Hello, Sagittarius. Welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul. If Sagittarius is your sun, moon, or rising sign, this is your tarot card reading. Remember to hit the like button, leave a comment. Consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. These readings are totally free. If there is anything you would like me to pray over, or meditate upon, or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Now, this is a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger, and I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I provide. And remember, Sagittarius, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. And you got that 10 of Pentacles. This is the picture of your best life. This is a card of wealth. This is the card of completion. This is the card of getting to the top of that holy mountain finally, right? This is big. This is, kind of the crystallization and the manifestation of everything that you've been working toward. I think you know what your best life will look like. You have this feeling of abundance. I think that you have kind of like the abundance mindset. Okay, and I feel that right now, this week, a lot of your goals are going to reach a culmination. Okay, a lot of the things that you've been putting your effort into are going to start bearing fruit very quickly. I want to put this card into a little bit of context, and I want to see how all of this is going to unfold for you. We have a moon card. We have a 3 of cups. We have the Ace of Pentacles in the background. We have the Empress. We have a Prince of Wands. Very good. A lot of strong cards over here. Oh, another strong card. See the effort, the 10 of Wands. The 2 of Wands. There is your superpower card. I kind of knew that it would be here. That is the Art or Temperance card, and that is associated with the sign of Sagittarius. Okay. And finally, we have a 4 of Swords. Very nice. I like that. I like that 10 of Pentacles in the middle. We're going to select the mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. This is a random card from the Smith Waite Tarot. This is the factor infinite and unknown. We're going to set it down right here with Alien Simon Mork Ripley right there on top. We're not going to look at that card until the very end, but it will tie everything together and it will give us the confirmation that we need at the end of the reading. If at any point during this message you feel like you might know what that card could be, put your prediction in the comments down below. Okay. Now, as we look around the room, we see 1, 2, 3 major arcana energies. Okay. We see that right now you might be feeling as if there is a kind of a darkness in your life, right? It may feel like we're in that dark, scary forest. There may be some fear. There may be some uncertainty still left, right? I think that's going to really go away, the uncertainty. We have the Empress, of course, which is coming down from on high, right? Your higher self is sort of in this realm of abundance. It's kind of like you already envision yourself as being successful and productive and like at the top of the mountain, whatever that is for you. If this is a financial thing, if this is work or career, vocation, if this is generally in life, if it's a spiritual path, if it's about family, whatever it is. You kind of are already feeling yourself to be that abundant person with that wealth, okay? And of course, the 10 of Pentacles is wealth, but it's not just finances. Finances are a part of it, yeah, but it's the feeling of richness, the feeling that we are in our best life, okay? And I feel like your true self is trying to tell you that you're destined for this kind of life, a very abundant life. And you need to believe that you're already there, right? Operate from that mindset. And I think things are going to happen, I think this is big. I think this is really, really big. We have, of course, the Temperance card here in the position of the obstacle. And, I think sometimes as an obstacle, we don't always believe in ourselves. I mean, I think just as human beings, sometimes we doubt ourselves a little bit. That we get in the middle of the dark, scary forest and we start to have some fear. We start to have some, you know, the uncertainty, the doubt, the second guessing, not the full confidence, right? So you might be going through a period of time right now where your confidence is waning a little bit. The Art or Temperance card in this position is also saying, I think it's Spirit's way of saying that the success that you're going to achieve, don't let it change you. Okay? Don't let it change your mindset. Okay? Don't let it change who you are as a person, because this is the card of sort of the pressure cooker. This is the card of transformation, right? And it's kind of saying like there's a situation that is going to transform you, but we have to be okay with sort of allowing that transformation to take place, but also holding fast and staying true to our core principles. Okay? Don't let success change who you are at your core. Okay? So we've got our majors, we've got some good fire energy, we've got lovely water energy, we have a little bit of air energy, really the perfect amount. It's a Four of Swords. It's the perfect air card that we could have here. And of course we have our earth energies there. But let's start with the Ten of Pentacles and the Moon card, because there's this dark, scary forest that I think we're kind of in the middle of. And I think what Spirit's saying is that because of your tenacity, because of your perseverance, you're going to get through this period of uncertainty, and everything is going to manifest. Everything is going to bear fruit for you. So you're heading into a very successful time of prosperity. We have to maintain the mindset. Okay? One thing we don't want to do is let the fear change us. We don't want to be in this dark, scary forest of uncertainty and start to feel more like, oh, I can't do this. I'm not meant for this. This is too much for me. It's too hard for me. I don't have enough. It's not going to work. Because that's kind of us like sort of transforming into a scarcity mindset. And we need to keep this abundance mindset. We have literally the card of abundance here with that Three of Cups. Okay. And this is inside of you. So we need to maintain that, which means that we have to get a handle on our thoughts right now. Now is not the time for doubt. Now is the time for believing in ourselves, for confidence. The sun is just about to rise on your life, okay? And this is going to be big. Ten of Pentacles, big, okay? Because the Ten of Pentacles is kind of like the culmination of everything. This is it. This is all of it for you. Yeah? This is for all the marbles here. And it's a really, really big thing. I think that this is... probably you're reaching the end of a particularly long and difficult path. And of course, we have the Ace and the Ten of Pentacles. So it does feel to me like you're reaching a particular end. You're reaching a very, very big goal. It feels like this is kind of your life's work now that's coming to fruition. It's bearing fruit, and it's really, the abundance is going to be here in the physical world, in the physical plane. It's something tangible, okay? We have kind of more fire than anything else, right? And this is because we really need to keep our confidence. We have to keep a steady pace. We have to keep our spirits up, because this is a situation that most people would sort of turn around and go home, but not you, right? Because you believe that you're meant for these great things. You believe that this is going to work, okay? And you believe, you kind of, again, with that Empress, you sort of feel as if you're already there, you know? You're sort of already operating from that wealth and abundance mindset. And again, the wealth, not just financially, but a wealth of life, okay? A richness, a depth, a purpose, a significance to things. And this card, of course, sees the little transformative beetle at the bottom that is pushing the solar disk up over the horizon. It is because you are, you're becoming the person that you need to become in order to succeed. You're becoming already like abundance has to start inside. We have to become the abundant person before the abundance will appear externally. So you're becoming that person, and you're the one that is pushing the sun up over the horizon. You're bringing about the dawn, okay? And I think it's been a lot of work. I think you've done a lot of spiritual work, a lot of inner transformations in order to get here. And I feel that any day now, I feel like in the next few days, you're going to start to witness the sun rising, and all this light is going to come rushing in. Okay. Now, there are issues from the past that are still pulling on you. Okay, this Ace of Pentacles. I wonder if the goals for you, I wonder if they are more financial or physical or like monetary right now. And I feel as if you were always a person who didn't really care about money. You didn't care about that sort of thing. You maybe at one point in your life you were a minimalist. Maybe we were a little bit like kind of hyper minimalist, you know? Because I feel like when we got onto this particular path, this was some earthy, mundane, almost human type of goals that weren't always so important to you. But maybe that's a really good thing, right? Because maybe you started off your life really focused on internal development, knowledge, wisdom, experience, and then in the last year or so, you started really focusing on, okay, got to build wealth, got to build like generational wealth, got to build some security and safety, got to build the retirement, got to build the, we started focusing more on the material goals, right? And I think that was an interesting shift for you. But I feel like you did it in the proper order. Now, there's no spiritual law that says we can't have spiritual goals and, earthy goals at the same time. In fact, I think they have to go hand in hand because, it is the same energy. Okay, so having the more, whatever you want to call them, earthy goals, right, or human goals, or even just call them financial goals, right? They're a crucial part of your spiritual development. Okay, and I think that a lot of the internal spiritual work that we do, the self-development, needs to have a corresponding physical path too. So we have to take all that inner development and we have to put it to good use in the external world. So this doesn't have to necessarily be for money for you, although I do feel like there is a big financial thing here happening for you, okay, is the vibe that I get. But I feel that there is now, you're kind of like you're walking your talk. We did the theory, we did the internal work, now we're putting it into practice, and that's where we have this. But I think it was kind of a different thing for you. And I wonder too, if you sort of grew up in a household or like a society that didn't really care a lot about money or like physical things or about, material things. And so now it's kind of odd for you to be, succeeding in that way. Feels a little strange, right? In a good way. It's a very good problem to have, as I sometimes say. The Empress is the energy coming from on high. This is coming down from your truest self. Okay, and your true self wants you to feel like the Empress already, that you're already living this best life. Okay, this is a life of abundance. This is a life of growth. This is a life of constant renewal. Okay, which means things are gonna decay and pass on, and new things are gonna sprout up, and it's gonna be an ongoing, living, organic kind of life. Okay, it's not just, oh, here's a lottery ticket for $1 million and then that's it, see you later. It's something that you're going to continue to put in work, and you're going to get more out of it. You're going to put more in, you're going to get more out of it. So it feels like you started your own business. Maybe that's what the Ace of Pentacles is. Maybe this was you really, kind of finally taking like your long-term security seriously, and you said, okay, you know what, I'm going to start saving money, I'm going to start investing, I'm going to start building businesses or something, or I'm going to start focusing on savings for retirement, or whatever it might be. Kind of focusing on the long-term planning. Well, maybe that's the Ace of Pentacles too. Maybe we've lived our life kind of just living for today, But then there was a point where you said, I got to start thinking of the future more. I got to start thinking of like, what's going to happen 10 years from now? Where do I want to be? Who do I want to be? What do I want to be doing, right? And so I think that you're kind of, you're coming to the culmination of a lot of that effort. I don't know if this has been a 10-year journey for you, or if this was, I'm kind of getting the feeling of like 12 months has elapsed since you started something. Because now we're finishing it. We're coming to the end of it. And I feel that this is the message from Spirit that is saying you're destined for wealth and richness and depth and meaning. You're here for a reason, and you're building something that is lasting. You're building something that is, maybe is something that can be passed on to other people. So if you're building a business, well, that business wants to live longer than a normal human lifespan, right? So it's like, I want to give my kids the business. I want to pass it on. Maybe we're building a business and we're going to sell it, but it's something that's going to keep growing, and it's going to keep giving. Okay. This could be, investments or something like this. This could be also perhaps us investing in our physical well-being. And maybe that's sort of the ace to the Ten of Pentacles too, is that we haven't always focused so much on our physical health. We just kind of, again, living for today. Now we're starting to think of, okay, well, who do I want to be in 10 years? I better start doing the right things now. I better start focusing on the thoughts, words, and deeds in the present moment so that my next 10 years can be abundant and full of vitality and health and energy and well-being. Okay? So physical, financial, health, and wealth, it's all tied together, I think. But the Empress here is saying that, this is the life that you were destined for, and this is a life where everything is sort of there's an ecology here. Everything is working in harmony. Everything is feeding other things, and everything is nourishing other things, and it's just it feels like a big happy family, kind of, But it's an ecology. It's where everything that we do is interconnected. I don't know, maybe you're someone who kind of knows how to live off the land, or you know what I mean, where it's, how to live in harmony in that symbiotic relationship with the universe, with the earth, with other people, and with yourself, and with all of your activities and interests and all your responsibilities. Everything is interconnected in this very intricate web of life. Yeah. And your internal environment, this is coming from your deepest self as well, but kind of on the lower unconscious thing. This is I think, the need for abundance. I think that, again, you probably grew up in a family where, there wasn't an overabundance of anything because, that kind of abundance maybe wasn't valued. And now I think that you're really coming into this realization that you want that sort of stability and security. You want to believe that you're capable of creating wealth for yourself, even in moments, even in scarce times. It's kind of like the idea where you can lose everything, but you still have this abundance inside of you that says, I can build it again. And there's no problem. I don't want to, I don't think you're going to have to. Maybe you've already been through a few iterations of something where you've tried to build it up and it collapsed. You try to build it up and it collapses. But you never lost the mindset or the belief, that inner energy that says, I'm worthy of this. I can create this. No matter what happens, I'm going to be able to sort of bounce back and create the life I want. This is the abundance mindset. Okay, it's Mercury in Cancer. It is almost a strategy, or even an innate ability, a natural ability for you to create abundance in your life. And maybe this is something that Spirit wants you to recognize, to draw up from your unconscious. This is deep within you that you might not be aware of, is your ability to create abundance. Okay, so when we're going through the dark, scary forest and we're starting to feel a little afraid, and we're kind of maybe some doubts are starting to creep in, we're getting a little bit, nervous about the uncertainty, we've got to rely on this hidden power in us. And this is our ability to create. This is our ability to radiate out love and gratitude and abundance. And as we do that, it's going to attract all the right stuff. This is kind of like our inner force. And when we are able to express that, okay, and sort of send it outward, I think that it really does change the world around us. Yeah. Now, in the future position, you've got your Prince of Wands. This is a card of very steady activity. So I kind of feel that going through this dark, scary forest, you're not letting off the gas in fear, nor are you smashing on the gas pedal in order to speed the heck out of there as quickly as possible. You're kind of saying, this is part of the journey. The uncertainty is, the way I know that I'm doing something significant. If it wasn't a little bit scary, if we didn't have this, then it wouldn't really matter much when we get the Ten of Pentacles. It wouldn't be a very big deal, right? So this is kind of like saying we can't have the sunrise until there's nighttime. We can't have light if there's no shadow anywhere. Okay, so it's kind of like the two need to play off of each other, and I think that in some ways, we like a little bit of the adrenaline, like a little bit of the fear, the mystery of life. So I feel like you're going to, in the future, continue moving forward in a lot of powerful ways. Like I feel like you're meant to do a lot of great things in the world. I don't see you slowing down at all. Even when you get that 10 of Pentacles, that wealth, that culmination, that, the top of the mountain kind of energy, you're not slowing down. You're still going. There's still more things you want to do in life. And maybe the 10 of Pentacles is finally giving you the means to do what your true purpose really is. And maybe you're looking at your wealth or your finances or even your physical health as like the tools that I need in order to do what I really want to do in life. Okay? Which I do feel like is something community oriented, or it's geared toward healing or helping others or feeding others, or something it's something that gives back to people. Anyway, right? Path of the Serpent. We start with our 10 of Wands. By the way, if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please do. The readings are totally free. The 10 of Wands is the maximum effort. This is really you kind of feeling that you are responsible for all of this, and this is kind of, to me, feels like an ownership. That the success or the failure of something, we're not blaming anybody else. It's on our shoulders. I'm carrying this burden. If I drop it and they break, that's on me. I've chosen to carry, all the groceries in the house on both arms. And if I drop all the eggs or milk or the kombucha, like, that's on me. I've chosen to take on this work. And, I'm going to reap the rewards when I succeed, but I'm also going to take the lumps if something goes wrong. So this is real. This is ownership. This is accountability. And I think you're somebody that takes big risks intelligently because you know the risks. And you say, okay, I'm willing to invest all my energy in something. And I know that doesn't have to go well. There's always going to be uncertainty. Life is always a dark, scary forest. Whenever we do anything significant in life, we have to step into that dark, scary forest. When you find yourself at the edge of a dark wood, what do? You go all in. Right? And you know the risks. You don't know what the risks are all the time. You don't know what monsters you might find in the dark, scary forest. But you know that this could end up really, really, really good, really, really, really bad, or somewhere in the middle. And you're willing to take that chance. Okay, so I find that you're a really good, strong leader. But it's kind of like you would never ask anybody else to do something that you're not willing to do. That's kind of your vibe. Yeah, I feel a real vitality in you right now. The 2 of Wands in the position of your relationships. I feel like you have a lot of really strong people around you. And I feel that sometimes you butt heads with people, but it's kind of in a good way. It's kind of like 2 really strong personalities that sometimes clash, but it's kind of like it's that clashing that makes each person kind of work harder, or think in a different way, or keeps us on our toes, right? So there's somebody in your life that you kind of like, I don't know if you like bounce ideas off of them, or if there's a little bit of friendly competition with someone. But I feel as if you right now you have a very outgoing personality, and I think that you surround yourself with people that also have very, very big personalities, and sometimes there's friction, but it's not friction that leads to anger or anything like this, or we're not getting upset over it. We're kind of looking at it as like, it's like 2 people on the same team that are just trying to have a little fun and see if they can outdo each other, a little bit. So I don't know who that person is for you, but I feel that they're very, it's kind of like they inspire us to be stronger, to be our very best self. And you do that for them as well, because the 2 of you are so, I think, so powerful that it inspires each other to just keep working harder and to keep doing more, and to in a fun way, in a very connected way. Yeah. The Art or Temperance card in the position of your obstacle. I think for one, you're trying to complete a transformation. Okay. And I think it's really this ace to the 10, because this is, an alpha and an omega here. I think you're trying to complete a particular transformation in your life, whether it's physical or financial, health or wealth. And I feel that, you're trying to become exactly who you need to become, but you're trying not to let your success change you into you know, that kind of like stereotypical, like successful person that like nobody really likes, you know? So I feel that you're very aware of how this is an alchemy. Okay? And the external situation is changing who you are, and how you change internally is affecting the external situation. And I think you're trying to keep a nice balance here, and you're trying to be very, I know, it's like when you're going to get all this success, you're not going to go out and buy a bunch of fancy cars for no reason, right? I feel like you're still going to drive like an efficient car that's kind of like a smart choice, you know what I mean? You're not letting the success change you fundamentally. Okay, because again, I feel like the way you grew up was maybe the minimalism, or there wasn't an overabundance of things, or material things weren't emphasized or valued in your life. And you sort of still hold on to that. You're still kind of that person where it's just you want material things, you want the success, and you want the wealth, but you don't care about all the material trappings. You don't need like the biggest, best car that's out there or whatever, right? You want something that works, something that's efficient and practical, because you value other things. You value what money can do for you as a tool, rather than valuing the money itself as a status symbol, as a way that we can sort of feel good about ourselves, right? I think you feel good about yourself even when you have nothing, okay? And you'll feel the same way about yourself even when you have everything. And so we have a clear idea of who we are. And so the obstacle now is really just to not let all this success change who you are fundamentally. Yeah. The Four of Swords at the end, the final sort of outcome here, the destiny for you, stress-free. This feels like smooth sailing. This is a rest. This is a mental sort of reprieve from the stress of life. And maybe that's what we want the wealth for. You know, I don't value money for its own sake. I'm not just going to hoard it and you know, then, you know, kind of turn into an evil villain or something, right? But maybe we want the security of wealth so that we can just be a little bit more stress-free. So that's not a worry we have to hold on to. Or this even could be something like we're trying to make sure that we leave something for future generations, or we leave something for our kids or something like this, so that we don't have to worry about them. So something about this is really putting your mind at ease. Okay, it's saying that this is gonna allow you to live a little bit more of a stress-free life. Now, there's always going to be stress. There's always going to be problems, right? More money, more problems. Yeah, but I think that having enough, having a certain level of abundance in your life is going to allow you to sort of relax your mind a little bit. Okay, maybe it'll give us a little bit of mental safety and security. Now, I know that's kind of an illusion, right? Because money can be gone at any time, our health can be gone at any time. But I think that by doing the right things, let's say this is about your health and your well-being, by knowing that I'm becoming the healthiest version of myself, that kind of allows me to not worry so much about the future. And guess what? Not worrying so much is going to improve your health anyway. Stress, right? Stress kills, you know? So this is how we're trying to live a more calm and balanced and relaxed life so that we can live a better life, not a life that's full of every moment is stress. Every moment is worry, right? We're trying to get out of that. And I think that this Ten of Pentacles is going to help you to lower the amount of stress, to manage the stress in your life. Now, it's not a cure-all, right? Again, more money, more problems. But I think it's going to do a lot to make you feel better about things, make you feel a little bit more secure. Okay? Maybe having a little bit of money in the bank, right? We can relax a little bit. I have a little bit of money in the bank, so I know that if anything happens, it's covered. So that takes a little bit of stress off of us. Not completely, you know, but I think that your life is going to get a lot easier now. But we still have to stay on our toes. We still have to continue to work and put in the effort and continue this organic growth. Okay, it's not just you got a sum of money and that's just okay. Now I don't have to do anything and I'm just going to live off of that. I think you're always putting in effort. You're always putting in work. There's a lot of things that you still want to do. Okay, but this feels to me like a little bit of peace of mind. Yeah. Let's look at the mystery card. I want more abundance. I think it's going to be a Wheel of Fortune. I think it's going to be a 9 of Pentacles, maybe a 9 of Cups, something like this. If you have a prediction, put it in the comments. Let's see what we have. The Page of Wands. I feel like we're getting ready for something else now. The Page of Wands is maybe this idea that this type of wealth, whatever we're talking about, this win, this success, this goal that we're arriving at, is opening up a lot of different doorways for you where you can sort of explore whatever you want to do. It's sort of giving you a freedom now where you can find out what excites you. You can go learn new things. You can travel, right? Because the Page of Wands is someone who is very excited about life, has a lot of interest, a lot of enthusiasm, wants to go do a lot of new things. Maybe you're going to go skydiving, bungee jumping, scuba diving, right? You're going to write a book. Maybe you're going to travel. Maybe you're going to spend more time with the kids or the grandkids. I feel like it's opening up a lot of doors for you to do a lot of the things that you've always wanted to do. Yeah. And I think that's wonderful. And that to me feels like a great way to sort of de-stress, right? Is to feel like we've accomplished something, and so now I can relax a little. Mentally, I can de-stress, and I can just do some things that interest me. And I can follow a lot of these interests and passions that I have because you're going to have the resources to do those things. Yeah. It feels good. We're going to do an extended reading as well. We'll do an I Ching hexagram. We'll do some oracle cards. There is a link in the corner. There's a link down below. New readings for Sagittarius, Wednesdays and Sundays. Be sure to watch both readings. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please do. The readings are totally free. Leave a comment and let me know where in the world you're watching from. I want you to know that you're the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you and I love you. And we're all in this together.